a celestial spiritual guide with us at the moment who wishes to address us on this theme and what is happening in our world right now. And before I share with you my deep message, I wish to preface it just to remind you of what a human being is in your world. And a human being in your world is but a temporary emanation of Source onto your planet. And as you know, an emanation of Source onto your planet could be for a lifetime of a few seconds to a lifetime in your years of over 100 years. And each lifetime, whether it be a second or 100 years, serves a purpose. And that purpose is not necessarily of an individual nature. And to say that is that many aspects of your life and what you do in your life is not necessarily about you individually. It is about an emanation of divine Source into your world and what may be achieved from it, whether that be collectively or perhaps for your own personal soul journey. But the reminder here as a preface is that we are all part of a much greater collective, greater than the human collective, and even greater than what may be regarded as a galactic federation collective. We are all part of something much higher, and we're very aware of that. And we're also very aware that within your world there are divine emanations which can only be described as perhaps being of a non-human nature. So the experiences back to the divine collective are multivariate, and there are different tasks and functions and impulses working within your world to bring about the change that humanity has so long cried for or requested. And within the changes that are asked for upon your earth, you will appreciate that the changes are asked for with urgency, and that for eons of time, your planet has languished in states of war or states of darkness, and the time for awakening and, let's say, mass evolution of consciousness is now upon your planet. And what it takes to bring about that awakening is, because of the density of your planet and because of how deeply incarnated a human being can become, the spiritual connection is often lost. And this is also part by design, where conscious beings can develop free will. But the incarnating process can be deepened beyond sometimes free will. And it takes events, and sometimes events of what you could consider, say, a catastrophic nature, to send an alarm bell or a wake-up call around your earth. And within this state of alarm, within this state of change, also consider that there are many amongst you and amongst us who are on your planet by free choice to be part of that change. And part of that change also involves, for many people, a predetermined aspect of self-sacrifice for the benefit of humanity. Now, that doesn't make events in your planet right or wrong. It just means that there are quite a number of human beings within your world who have incarnated with a sense of future, with a sense of, let's say, destiny or fate, who are perhaps willing on a higher level to undergo the changes that are on your planet right now. It doesn't make it right or wrong, but it is the offering that is being provided to you. Now, there are exceptions to this, of course, and each of you are light workers, and you each have a task to do in this world and in this regard if you are indeed somewhat awakened, and that opportunities of service are now afforded to you in different ways. The first way of doing this is the acknowledgement of what I have just communicated with you. And this is the acknowledgement and the gratitude that may be extended energetically to those who are fulfilling this part of the change in your world. And on a physical level, there is great suffering in your world. On a soul level, there is also a sense of loss and a sense of sadness for what is in your world. On another level, there is a sense of higher, let's say, exhilaration that a task has been achieved in sending a message through perhaps a sense of self-sacrifice physically to the rest of the world. But when you consider a lifetime as an emanation for a second or for 100 years, in the scope of a soul's journey over eons and eons of time, such an offering is perhaps far more fleeting than what you may think, and comes with certain karmic attachments and an aspect of higher being, which may not necessarily be realized on the earth plane, but is certainly something that is imbued within the soul and spirit of such beings who have performed acts of service within your world. We certainly do not condone those who work perhaps foolishly in your world, or callously in your world, or cruelly in your world. That is a separate conversation in itself. And there are forces in your world, as there are throughout the universe, who are polar opposites of unconditional love. And it is almost as if you cannot have one without the other. It is like, how do you know what light is if there is no darkness? If there is no darkness, how can you have shades of all the colour and experiences between the two? There would be limited consciousness if it weren't for the polarities that are in existence in your world. The question now becomes, what mastery over these polarities through free will does humanity and the individual wish to achieve? It is a test for humanity, it is a test for individual souls, and it is also a test for those who undertake it as, say, initiates, to come and go into your world with a sense of selflessness and a sense of offering to help change the planet in which you live in. And we ourselves on the galactic spheres play perhaps a lesser, more detached role upon this, but we can also serve to direct frequencies into your planet to accelerate the change that is required with what you may refer to as less collateral damage in your world. Your world is being held in a state of, let's say, balance and a state of protection. And we feel very strongly that that objective will certainly be maintained throughout this change that is occurring in your world. And the best that you can do is to help with us, with the Galactic Federation, to hold a sense of peace, of purpose, that the change is needed. And to just accept and work with the collective through this time, for that is why you yourselves have incarnated onto this planet. And just for the next few moments, just imagine that you are embodying this higher sense of what is needed in your world. Just enable that to work through you, absorbing these frequencies. And now what I'd like you to do now, just reshift your focus now and just contemplate for a moment the many souls who have left this planet through the wars and those who are now suffering. And if we can just send a sense of human acknowledgement, of spiritual acknowledgement, and to let them know they are not alone in their pursuit of change and awakening. It is as if someone on the earth understands and has heard and has acknowledged their journey, their human, very human journey. Okay, so one of the things we've been talking about is pain and suffering in this world. And if you consider, and we reverse things for a moment and think, look, when we are born into this world or when we come down into this world, there must be an aspect on the other side where we are kind of experiencing like a spiritual death. And to take our own spiritual emanation from source and project it down into a material body, there must be an aspect just of suffering in actually coming down from source into a physical body. So when we are then therefore released from a physical body, there must be this revitalization, this sense of relief, this sense of love, this sense of reconnection. So what I'm perhaps trying to say here is that our picture of birth and death are somewhat perhaps reversed from what they could or should be. We tend to celebrate the physical birth and then mourn the physical death. But on the other side, it's the opposite. There's this sadness when someone descends into matter, which is quite a difficult experience. And then when we are released from that, there's probably a great celebration on the other side. You got down there, you made it, you came back, woohoo! So it's interesting. And then consider perhaps the condition of human souls who have come down here, given themselves up in a kind of a war zone and gone back up and said, hey, I did it, we're back, and hopefully what I've done is gone out to the world. So I don't want to trivialize human life. I just want to perhaps expand the way that we look at coming into this earth and coming back up the earth. And I'm also very thankful that I don't have to go through the experiences that other human souls have gone through. I just wanted to share that one with you.